Rachel Holt for Nesson.com alongside Demetrious Johnson, also known as Mighty Mouse, also known as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now I'm holding your belt.
Yep.
It's very heavy. Tell me about this thing.
Obviously, it's the UFC Championship belt. It's the first one in the UFC flyweight division. I'm the only champion that's ever held it, and hopefully it stays like that for my whole time in my career. And it's pretty heavy. It's solid gold.
It's very heavy.
It's the gold comes from the mountains of the Himalayas. Dana White farmed it himself with his bare hands, and he crafted this nice gold belt for me.
Well, I'm going to put this down if you don't mind, because I don't train as much as you do.
I don't want you to tear your labrum.
So speaking of training, you haven't lost in 5 years. I would say that's pretty impressive. How much work do you put in during the week? Just a general idea.
I say general idea, maybe 15 hours in training. A lot of it is, my early days of being an amateur career. I've competed in boxing, Muay Thai, grappling tournaments, and the different aspects of mixed martial arts, because MMA is basically a compiled of the best martial artists in the world with different avenues of it, as you can say. So I would say it's credited more to my amateur career, and now it's about just maintenance, keep on learning, staying healthy, and mentally staying strong.
Okay, we see your belt. You've been so dominant in your class. Since it's been done before, would you ever consider trying to be a two-belt champ?
Yeah, obviously the money's right. Definitely, it's always about the money aspect of it, I need to have an incentive to go up and do it, When you look at the best athletes around the world, a good example is Usain Bolt. He runs the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash every single year at the Olympics, and he breaks his own record. But nobody ever tells him, why don't you run a 400? Why don't you run a mile? I mean, you're fast, because he's always focused on his craft, which is trying to beat his record. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to beat my record. I'm trying to always improve myself and better myself and break a service record.
Two of the big names in your sport, obviously Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. Now, after Rousey's last loss, Dana White recently came out and he said he thinks she may be done.
Yeah.
What's your comment on that?
Someone who makes $3 million, who knows what she made on pay-per-view buys. She's come out 2 losses, and she took a year off, and she's obviously has a future in doing different things. I wouldn't be surprised if she quit. It's hard. This sport is very brutal on you, and you're going to lose some, and you're definitely going to win some. So I think she's made enough money financially for people who've been, I've been in the sport longer than she has. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's done.
She's obviously done a lot for the sport. In general, how have you seen the UFC grow in the past year? What are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely grown a lot. I think she's done a lot more part for the women's MMA. I would say Conor McGregor's done a lot more for the men's, obviously. It's 2 different, sexes or whatever. So it's grown a lot. Now we're managed by WME, IMG. That's awesome. We're getting a lot more deals with different avenues, I guess you can say, with, gaming. Well, for me, gaming, essentially. So it's grown a lot.
What's next for you? When are we going to see you out there again?
Hopefully UFC 211 here in Texas. That's in May 13th. So right now I'm just trying to stay healthy, and then hopefully I could be the co-main event behind Stipe and Juno Santos.
Okay, well, obviously the Super Bowl coming up February 5th. Yep. When you see these guys out on the football field, do you ever think, hey, that guy might be pretty good in the octagon?
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I think how many concussions they get and how hard, how fast they run, and how, everybody in the NFL, they're specimens. They're genetic specimens. They're athletic. They're the cream of the crop. And yeah, they're just amazing athletes. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Well, we will be looking out for you. Thanks so much.